Greetings one and all and one. Welcome to an on-demand video. Today we're going to be looking at the linear tank medium tanks, or at least two of them, the 416 and the Object 430 version 2, and then up to the pinnacle of DPM at tier 10 in terms of medium tanks, the Object 430. I'll be giving you my opinions on tanks as well as tips and tricks for various vehicles and how to tackle the tech line in general. So, let's look at an overview of this tech tree, shall we? Because it can get quite convoluted and complicated, especially if you're playing up it for the first time. Now, what I will say is if you're looking to go up any of these national medium tank lines, and you haven't done so yet, let's say you're about tier 6 or 7, I recommend to get the A44 and go to the 416, because if you look here, to get these two, the T62 and the 140, you only have to get your T54. But, if you get your T54, you can't get your 430. However, if you get the 416, it allows you to access all of the tier 10 national medium tanks from only searching one tier 8, only having to play from one tier 8. I mean, the lightweight and T44, lightweight's good, T44 is probably mediocre at the tier, but the 416 will allow you to access all of the tier 10 medium tanks, so that's worth keeping in mind. As well, the 430 version 2 at tier 9 manages to get a far less painful grind than the T54. I think I mentioned this in another on-demand video where I covered the T44 to the 140. But the T54, you have to grind it with the LB1 gun when you are stock. That's a tier 8 gun from the T44. As you're seeing here, it's really underwhelming to use on the tier 9 tank. However, the 430 version 2, seeing as you can search a tier 9 gun on the 416 right here, 430 version 2 has that gun as stock, which ironically is the best gun to use on the vehicle because the tier 9 gun is just simply worse than that. Comparatively, has a worse rate of fire, worse accuracy, worse aim time. The only thing that's better is pen, and we got heat shells for that because that's balanced. So, those are my tips for the line in general. Let's get stuck into some gameplay in some of these vehicles, shall we? 416 is an anomaly. It's an enigma. It's a tank that stands out on its own and declares aloft to the heavens. I don't particularly like my tech tree, and so I'm not going to comply with its standards. You see, the national medium tanks line, they're brawlers by nature. They have armor, they have the ability to sideswipe, and they have amazing guns. Well, the 416 only suffices that in the way that it has an awesome gun. And it does, it truly does. But, as 1,200 hit points, that's 50 less than a T54 lightweight, which is the same tier light tank. This tank does not have any hit points, nor does it have any armor, or gun depression for that matter, but that's kind of a theme throughout this entire line. Really, this tank is not a brawler. It's not like the A44, the predecessor, which only had 100 less hit points, like, my god. It's not like the 430 after it. It stands alone in the tech tree as being a more defensively played sniper. If you try and play this aggressively, as you have gotten used to with the A34 or seen some gameplay in the 430 version 2, you're going to get your ass kicked due to a lack of armor, lack of gun depression, lack of hit points. This thing has an amazing gun, we've established that already. It's pretty much the T54's gun at tier 8. It's absolutely amazing. But, if you get stuck in too hard, too early, you're gonna get punished for it, like I am right here. Luckily, I was counting on my camera rating here, which hasn't really helped me that much. This tank does have one of the best camera ratings on any tier 8 medium tank, if not the best. And that's actually a theme of this line. The camera ratings as a whole are pretty good. On the 430 at tier 10, you got better stationary camo than the 1390 does, so it's worth thinking that if you are more minded to take a defensive playstyle in these tanks, especially on the 416, you'll do better to have a camo crew than a air crew. And this is an odd thing. Sans Universal, I mean, it's one of the most unbalanced and charted maps in the entire game, just putting that out there right now. And I would be playing defensively anyway, even if I wasn't in a very defensive-minded tank. But this is a gameplay you're going to have to adopt in the 416. And that's why I say it's alien, because this DPM is lovely. As I say, it's a lovely, lovely gun. But you've got to wait for your opportunity in this tank, not push the tempo, see if you can find a hole, just take it slow. You want to beat up your enemy, let them get to a point where, okay, I have significantly more hit points than them now, I can go in, I can use my DPM, I can use my mobility to kill them. So as I say, otherwise it's just not going to work. It's an odd tank. It's a great tank, but it's an odd tank. I don't feel like it belongs in the line that it takes place in the text. Alright, let's focus on this gameplay in particular. Stop. Go away! No one loves you! Okay, so IS-20 is attacked from the east. Looks like the enemy is making a counter-attack out the west, which is an extremely foolish play if they continue with it. Hopefully, the enemy is going to YOLO out to kind of A1, get pinned down, and give me time to work around the flank here with my IS-20. There's no point in me going all the way around the side. What are we missing? I'm at our Borsig. That's alarming. I may have overcommitted here like a boss. Yes, the lover did die. I was very much hoping he would decease. Might have an angle here on some of these guys. What the hell kind of show was that? Show went to bloody Narnia! And there we go. You take a shot in this tank, you're gonna feel it. That's a third of my hit points in one shot. It's not a brawler. I can't push the tempo with this. I've got to run. I've got to get to a defensive location. And I've got to use distance. It's one of my greatest advantages in this tank. Cannonating, a nice accurate gun. It's kind of, I guess, like the relationship between the Tortoise and the Death Star. Like, if you think about it, that line makes no sense. You've got these tanks that are big, heavily armoured and slow with a really good DPM and good rate of fire. And then you get to the Death Star. It's just like, what? I've had no practice for this. I've got a massive gun with a massive reload. Like, none of the other tanks on the line had it. The previous tank had the highest DPM in the entire game, the Tortoise. You just get to tier 10 and you're just like, 25-second reload, okay. Kind of disturbing. Alrighty. So, patience. And there's a clean kill, nice. I've got this fly, and I am going to eradicate its entire species as an event. If you mess up my video... Okay. Alright. So, never get into a serious fight in this thing. Like that. Never ever do that. Because you don't have any hit points. You literally die instantaneously. I'm top tier in that game. I took, what, 2 shots? 490. 3 shots, and I'm dead in the tier 8 medium tank. You look at the T-54 first prototype, which doesn't have a massive amount of hit points, score 1,300. It has significantly more durability. In fact, every tier 8 medium tank has more durability. The CDC has more durability than 416. In either case, let us not mourn for what could have been, For if we do that, then what shall we lament but simply life itself? Now we are blessed. We are blessed with the ability to play what is one of, if not the best tier 9 medium tank in the entire game. It certainly takes the crown for DPM at tier 10 with the stock gun on this vehicle, as I mentioned earlier, being the best gun. This stock gun on this vehicle has the highest DPM on any tier 9 medium tank. It has 4 degrees of gun depression, 120mm of frontal armor that does perform better than the T-54. Now, I'll explain that when you get to see the armor in a moment. Its turret armor is also better than the T-54's. Its gun is 0.01 less accurate. Its aim time is the same, but it has 7.89 rounds per minute as opposed to the T-54's 7.69. Also has a better camera rating than T-54 and is indeed more low profile. However, the lower plate on this tank is weaker comparatively due to, than the T-54 due to a poor angle. However, on the upper plate it's split into 2 sections. That line that I'm on right now splits the armor. Below that right here it's 120, same as you'd find on the T-54. Above that it's 60, but that's an auto bounce angle. The front of the T-54 is one plate at a continuous angle. You don't find any auto bounce angles on the front of the T-54, which means that the 430 version 2 can bounce Jagdpanzer heat shells, it can bounce E100 heat shells, it can bounce whatever, because it features auto bounce angles. Whereas the bloody T-54 has no such thing. And it does mean that the 430 version 2 ends up being more bouncy, more consistent in terms of armor. And I feel like as a result of that, it kind of has more carry potential in those big situations. Because, I mean, if you think about it, the strength of these tanks, the T-54, the Object 430 version 2, any of these tier 9 medium tanks, they're not really that well armoured. And now don't go having a heart attack at me saying that, because they're not. If you sit in a team training room against a T-54 or 430 version 2, you're going to be able to pen it every day of the week if you have sufficient pen. It's not going to be a problem. The strength of these vehicles is in their ability to do this. To charge at you, to make you panic, to not give you time to aim, to close the distance, to wiggle the tank. Their combination of mobility and armor is what makes them work so well at what they do. Because the fact that the enemy does not... I swear to God. God damn me, Jagdpanzer, that was mean. The enemy doesn't get time to aim at these vehicles. That's one of their huge, huge strengths. Now, I'm not going into the town here. Perhaps I should have to give you guys a better example of what's going on, but I really like the middle on Lakeville, because I feel like it gives me so many opportunities, and right now, we're winning the town. So, generally what I do in this situation is as soon as my team gets to about there, I'm going to push up the middle. Because as my team reaches the south of this map, on the southeast and east side, they're going to have a chance to push to the enemy base, at which point they will need vision and spots on people like the Borsig and the Jagdpanzer, so that they can push into the enemy base without dying instantly. And that's where I'm going to come in and try and help them out. You need a presence in the middle if your team is trying to make a push like this, to spot people like this Batchat. You need someone where I am now. Now, I don't want to go out here because that 50B is not under wraps at the moment. Gotta assume that he's chilling on that bush. Not many other places he can go. Okay, I do have fire support. 50B can't clip me unless he gets ridiculous high rolls. So I'm gonna see if I can spot. I've got so much fire support from my team. Hello, darling. One awful shot. Okay. Found Mr. Yank-Tigger. Nice tracking shot. If he wants to come at me, that's fine by me. There's that remounted target working for you. I expect my team to help out. Ah, there we go. That's exactly what we had in mind. Thank you very much, team. Okay, nice. So yeah, now we've got to spot the Borsig and the Jagdpanzer and people like that. Plans coming together. You can see it working. There's a team in the southeast. Can we get a vision for their best benefit? W8 Mongo shoot gold. Yeah, let me just shoot 201mm of pen at an encroaching Yanko. Genius! Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, you're so balanced. You're so balanced. I love that you're in this game. That's more balanced than you, bitch! Oh, I love Gnu 15's dying. It's like Christmas! Oh, I may love Gnu 15's dying more than I love Artie dying. I don't know, it's close. It's close. Who's gonna blow up and die? It's gonna be me. Chung it! Better than the T-54, I'm telling you that much. Okay.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Hello, darling. Yeah, come on, engage the 430. You know you. Oh God, Jagdpanzer. What? Why do you do things? Oh. The degree of violence is unsettling. Die! Die! Yes! Hooray for implausible butt sex. Okay. Implausible butt sex is best done the butt sex. Ah. Well, 1390's disappeared into a magical, mystical bush somewhere. So, good example of the 430 gameplay. Didn't get to demonstrate as much of the brawling aspect as I'd like. I mean, comparatively to the T-54, this tank has 580 horsepower as opposed to 700 on the T-54, so it is slower. But it's not noticeably. I mean, it's not a slow tank. You see me driving about here like a noob. It's certainly not slow. Like, I'm not feeling like I need... Oh, I'm still fine neat. I'm not feeling like I need a lot more engine power. I'm feeling like I'm getting about at an adequate pace for me on that 55. That's certainly meeting my needs in this vehicle. Obviously, the gun depression is a difference, but what you should really put the emphasis on in this tank is its ability to brawl. For those of you who played the T-54, you know the struggle that it encounters when it gets into a town environment. It's got 80mm side armor, same as the 430, but it doesn't have a remounted tank. This tank is built for side sniping. And although I couldn't show much of it, it is a distinct and powerful difference between the two vehicles. Just having that additional ability to say, okay, I need to make an engagement in this town against this tank. In the 430, you can do it. In the T-54, it's probably best to flank, at which point you might become more exposed or something like that. It's just yet more abilities, and in my opinion, it's something that's worth sacrificing a bit of horsepower and 1 degree of gun depression for. Just that extra, all manner of flexibility. Alright, gentlemen, 430 at tier 10, the worst of the tier 10 medium tanks in the Russian department, I would say. And that's not because it's particularly bad. It has appalling gun stabilization for a tier 10 medium tank. Absolutely appalling. Same time as abysmal. And I mean, I say this, and you might be expecting it to balloon up like the side of Jupiter, but I'm comparing it directly to the 140 and the T62A. Maybe that's an unfair judgment, but you've got to put it in the same bracket, because it's going to fight those kind of tanks, and it does call itself a tier 10 medium tank. And with regards to its rate of fire, it is, as I said, highest DBM on any tier 10 medium. And it has the best armour, theoretically, of the tier 10 Russian medium tanks. 120 at the front, which is the same as the predecessor, the tier 9s, but the T-54 to the 140 and T-62 actually dropped down in armour to 100 at the front as opposed to the 120. The 140 has about the same armour as the 430 most of the area, just because of the angling being better and more consistent on the 140, whereas the 430 is kind of sloped off at the sides, giving it occasional auto bounce angles. I just don't feel like armour of the 430 is that reliable, especially against other tier 10 tanks. It won't, I mean, it's not reliable. It will pull off a few bounces, but much like the E50M, you never feel like those bounces are really accredited to you, more often just the enemy making a bad shot or shooting the wrong place. It's not really anything that you do. There's no set way to angle this tank, I feel like. Which, again, when they put it into HD, I was really hoping that would change. I thought, oh yes, they're changing it into HD. Maybe they'll pull an E5 on it and buff it to ridiculous levels. But no, they didn't. They left it to be as underwhelming as it was previously. Which was a great disappointment to me, I've got to say. This guy's really loading. Bounced off the hazard QB. Okay. So obviously, do not want to expose ourselves out there. I mean, the death of me. Unless my team do it as well, in which case I could just YOLO. We want to YOLO, we've got DBM. 215B's from going, T110E5 is going. Oh wow, let's do it. Let's do it, boys. No, do not stop here for the sake of God. Come on, take this guy, he's got far better DBM. Take him. Take it! Ah, well, fair's fair, I guess. Don't get shat on by a pig. Yes, team, yes! Do your thing. Okay, now hide me. Guys. Well, I'm dead. Oh no, wait, the Gnu 15 might miss. Miss. No? Why am I not dead right now? Seems odd. I have objections. What's that TVP? Okay, I need a commander. I like him. His name's Jim. Okay, I'm guessing TVP went all the way out wide, otherwise he'd have jumped on me by now. No, he's there. Spotting for his team, no doubt. Leo's chilling. Can I poke you? Yes, I can. I like it. Can I poke you again, please? No, I can't. Curses. Really not a good example of the 430. Let's see if we can get you an example of the gun stabilization being utterly dreadful, shall we? Yeah, look at that. I'm turning to the left and right. Look at that balloon. Look at it. Look at that accuracy. That's not what you expect from a Russian medium tank. It's just not how it should be. It feels long.
Ready to fire. Let's find another target.
Feels long. It feels alien, I tell you. Okay, so the DBM difference. No hero now. 430. Why? Oh, knee. That's the only answer I have. I ain't got a goddamn clue what he's talking about. Dystonia, +1. I'm good. Oh, what? You don't have HP and heavies behind you? I'm sorry. Are you sad that I shot you? I'm sorry. I thought we were playing World of Tanks, not World of Fluffy Bunnies and Kittens. Oh, that's freaking impressive. He shot me under the bloody 215B. Dude. Oh. Man, don't be... don't... Okay. Like, I'm being harassed by a 907 because I attacked with my team. Wonder what game I'm playing. It's World of Tanks, isn't it? This doesn't happen in other games. It's World of Tanks. This man is inordinately aggravated that I killed him. Wow, he likes his tier 10 medium tanks, doesn't he? 1.5k and a Foch. He's a unique individual. Okay, gentlemen, that's a 32% chance to win. You can be fairly happy with that. The reason why we won that game, just to cover a bit of tactics, why not? Enemy were too hesitant, for one thing. They didn't... Oh god, it's on my little toe! It was nesting in the hairs on my toe! Oh my god. Okay. Enemy were far too hesitant. They had a massive advantage in terms of their tier 10 medium tanks. So they should have attacked the south instantly. Done. In our base, below us, surrounded, end of story. But they were defensive. They saw that we had won the north and they thought, okay, we'll sit back here, we'll put one tank below, we'll put the 907 and the E50M below the enemy team. Those will spot the enemies as they come into the open and we'll shoot them from long distance and kill them. Little did they know that when I saw my 215B and T175 attacking, I knew exactly what was going on. So I got my ass in there, I did what I could for my team, I got their spotters down, we killed their 907 and E50M so that I couldn't do what I wanted to do, which is work at distance over that long land, over the hills, because we have a disadvantage in that engagement, being heavies. So I really wanted to push in, get close to them, because that was the way that we were going to win that game. Which is, in fact, what the 430 specialises as. And this is the reason why I say it's the worst of the tier 10 medium tanks, because the whole idea of the tier 10 Russian medium tanks is that they're everything, aren't they? The 140, it can do whatever. It's got the rate of fire, it's got the mobility, it's got decent armour, it's got turret armour, it's got 6 degrees of gun depression. It is versatility in purest, unadulterated form. And the 430 takes a massive dump on that. It has the mobility. It lacks the gun stabilisation, it lacks the accuracy, it lacks the ability to make the engagement at medium and long range. It can't make those snapshots. It has to aim, it has to stay out that bit longer in front of enemy guns. I do not like the 430. The 140 and the T62A both have better things going for them than the 430 does. The 430 is a brawler, emphasised by its large amount of hit points, 2,000. That's 100 more than the 430, than the 140 and the T62A. My recommendation, if you're tackling this line, go to the 416, get these two, because these are some of the best tanks you can play. Then, go from the T64 to the 140, get the T62A if you like, but the 140 is the best of all of these tanks, because it works 2 out of 3 times, whereas the rest only work 1 out of 3 times. Because the 430 needs a close-up brawling fight, which you can't often find these days. At least not one that suits you. And as I said, the armor is inconsistent. The T-62A with its 5 degrees of gun depression has weak hull armor, especially compared to the 140. It's significantly weaker, 20 or 30 millimeters thicker, weaker. It has amazing turret armor. It's the same on paper values pretty much as the 140, but its turret armor is massively superior. It doesn't have the weak spot, the overmatched engine on the top, and it's thicker all around due to the angling. It needs to get hull down to get the most effective power out of the vehicle. But with 5 degrees of gun depression as opposed to 6 that's on the 140, T-62A is not going to find itself in that position often. And T-62A is nigh on impregnable when it does get hull down, but the 140 is good enough. It's decent. It's got good turret armor. It's tough to pen on 140 when it's hull down unless you low premium. So, would you rather have the speed that comes with the 140, the accuracy and the turret armor, or just have the turret armor, sacrifice your speed? The 140 is the best tier challenge medium tank in my opinion. Gentlemen, hopefully this has given you a decent sense of this line, this tech tree, and I hope you can tackle it in a new way and have a new perspective on the gameplay that you're going to get. So, yeah, gents, farewell.
I know who put that one in! Steve, you son of a bitch!
Even if they do say bitches!
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, me!